Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am doing a twin flame reading for the collective. So I will be channeling messages from both the collective masculine and the collective feminine, as well as channeling some information in regards to how these energy dynamics may be playing out within your individual life or connections. I'm going to start today by shuffling the Energy Oracle cards deck as I usually do. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you would like me to channel specific messages for you and your situation, because as I always say, by liking and subscribing, I'm able to pick up on your energy more easily and channel more specifically for you. With that being said, I do channel a lot of hyper-specific messages throughout these readings, so always be sure to use your own intuition above all else to determine which messages are for you and which might be for others. And as I was shuffling, a card flew out of the deck here. The Sacral Chakra, the second chakra card in the upright position. For someone listening, there could be something about a child or a baby here. I'm specifically seeing a male child, so this also could be indicating some kind of inner child wound coming out for a divine masculine. That message won't be for everyone, just for some who are listening. As many of you know, because I do speak a lot on the chakra centers, just because I feel that the concept of the energy body and the 7 chakras is a great way to visualize and conceptualize the ways in which we block ourselves energetically from fully giving and receiving love energy. So in the sacral chakra, this connects with our ability to form intimate connections, either emotionally or physically, and this really plays out especially in romantic connections. So what is going on here with the sacral chakra in the upright position? I heard deepening emotional intimacy. How is emotional intimacy deepening in this connection? I feel like there's some powerful shift taking place collectively through the sacral chakra. And as I was saying that, the walking away card in the reverse position, I heard the phrase learning to stay. What does that mean, learning to stay? Learning to feel secure within a connection, to feel safe within a connection, safe to open up, safe to stay, safe to commit. Angel of Balance in the upright position. So I'm clearly seeing a progression in the cards here, moving from the sacral chakra, this shift taking place, leading to greater emotional intimacy. Someone in this connection, or both, who are reflecting this learning how to fully, I just keep hearing like to stay present. I feel like I could be connecting with someone who has a tendency to lose the present moment, meaning that they worry a lot about the future or find themselves spiraling, getting stuck, thinking about the past. So I feel that someone here is learning to be fully present within their connection, specifically within this twin flame connection. And I'm also picking up on someone who is learning physically to stay within a relationship, because I feel that this person could have struggled in the past with running when things were bad, or when they became afraid because of this block in the past through the sacral chakra that again could have come from some kind of an inner child wound. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that these two individuals I'm channeling here are together in a physical romantic relationship. This could simply be indicating some kind of shift taking place within them that is allowing one in this situation to Learn to be fully present in the moment to release past anxieties and future anxieties and remain fully present. And teaching the other in this situation to open up fully, intimately, emotionally within romantic relationship and to feel safe and secure enough, stabilized enough within themselves to then be able to commit fully physically to this other person. Yeah, I heard commitment issues. So there could be someone here who in the past struggled to fully commit themselves within a romantic relationship, meaning I hear like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This person could have dated a lot of different people without really fully allowing themselves to form a stable, secure, long-term bond with someone. Again, only take what resonates with you. I'm channeling a lot of different energies here, but I do want to speak specifically to this person who has struggled with committing, these kind of commitment issues, because I'm picking up that for many, this will be a divine masculine in this situation. And I do feel this is coming back to that sacral chakra imbalance that is now shifting into balance. So I want to know what's going on with this divine masculine who struggled in the past with commitment issues, could be dealing with some kind of an inner child wound. Wow, if that isn't synchronistic, I don't know what is. The yin yang card came out in the upright position. This is clarifying to me that this message is for someone who is in a twin flame connection. And this wound that this divine masculine is healing is intricately tied into rebalancing their connection on the whole, energetically speaking. If this is resonating with you, by the way, I will leave a link to my sacral chakra activation. This is a subliminal meditation. I will leave the link to that in the pinned comment and description box. This is really created to reactivate and fully harmonize, rebalance the energies within the sacral chakra. So again, that will be linked under this video if you would like to explore more about how you can utilize that particular subliminal to assist you and your twin in rebalancing that energy through the sacral chakra, which of course leads to greater manifested feelings of security and trust that allow us to fully commit and fully form those intimate, emotionally connected kinds of bonds in our life. That all has to come from a very deep-seated energetic space. I feel like I'm channeling someone here who maybe in some kind of connection with their twin where there is this tendency to focus on the effects without seeing clearly to the root of what's going on here. I know that's kind of vague, but I also feel someone will know how this applies to them intuitively. I feel like I just see someone caught in this kind of dynamic of pointing fingers or placing blame or kind of labeling things as they happen externally, like, you know, this person won't commit, or they did this or that, or they left, or whatever the case is. There is this focus on the external, the physical as it's playing out, which is very natural because we are human and we do take in a lot of information through our physical senses. But I feel that this person is really being guided to shift their focus to what is going on energetically beneath the surface, beneath all of that blame and confusion and that kind of back and forth triggering that may have happened in the physical. But I do feel that for whoever this person is, I am strongly getting the feeling that this person is a twin flame and is probably already aware of this. And again, I am feeling a strong divine masculine vibe from this sacral chakra imbalance that is now coming into balance. I want to know how this sacral chakra imbalance could have affected this twin flame connection I'm channeling here in the past. I heard I'm afraid to open up to you. Why was this divine masculine afraid to open up? I don't want you to see me. This came out in the last reading as well. Someone who had a fear of being fully vulnerable with the other. So I could be channeling the same kind of energy here. Sometimes, as many of you may notice, certain themes in the reading may stay the same, and this is just because sometimes the energy shifts more slowly than other times, so there can be these kinds of recurring energetic themes that show up consistently in reading after reading until that energy fully shifts into something else. So why is it that this divine masculine is afraid to be fully seen? I feel kind of a bit of a solar plexus chakra sensation, so a bit of like almost a butterflies in my stomach kind of feeling right now, so someone might be relating to that. I heard nervousness, like you make me nervous in some way, or this person could be feeling like the other gives them butterflies in their stomach, or the idea of connecting with them makes them a little bit anxious in some way because they're being called to address these deeper level wounds and patterns. And as I was saying all of that, the card that came out says the energy is gaining momentum. There are 3 birds on this card, by the way, and I'm hearing that some of you may actually be receiving some guidance or signs or synchronicity through imagery of birds, or through actually seeing birds, and this kind of catches your attention in some way, either the type of bird you keep seeing, or you may see a certain number of birds over and over. So I am hearing someone could be receiving a little bit of divine guidance or some kind of a sign through these kinds of bird signals or signs, if that makes sense. With the energy gaining momentum card, I feel that this is speaking to the fact that this whole dynamic is shifting. Whatever has been going on in the sacral chakra is going through some kind of a powerful shift right now. It's like there's this building happening. I heard that at times may be very challenging for this divine masculine, because as this energy continues to build momentum, he may feel this at times as a kind of pressure or resistance as he feels this energy breaking down his walls. So that may be manifesting for some of you as well. What else is going on with this masculine through the sacral chakra? There's something about the color blue. Could be that someone has blue eyes or something like that. Longing for home, homesickness for the stars. I heard awakening leading to loneliness, awakening leading to confusion, almost like an unconscious kind of loneliness. I feel that I'm connecting with a divine masculine who is undergoing this very deep level spiritual transformation and evolution. And I feel that this is affecting them in kind of this powerful yet unconscious way. I feel this divine masculine, as he continues to wake up, finds himself feeling, I'm trying to describe it in the right way. It's kind of like a loneliness. I guess it could be like this homesickness, like this card says, a homesickness for the stars. Let it out, let it flow. Open up the heart to feel. I heard that this divine masculine is, in a sense, reconnecting on a deep level with his own emotions. Again, through this intense sacral chakra activation and shifting and healing. This is really reconnecting him with his own emotional experience. This could lead to him feeling a lot of emotion towards the divine feminine as well, whether he expresses this or not. So if you're listening and you're a divine feminine, you may be feeling this or some of this from your divine masculine in the form of feeling intensely emotional yourself and not knowing where it's coming from. This could be you picking up on the fact that he is going through this deep reconnection with his own emotions. You may also find that he might reach out and say something that is a bit emotion-packed or full of emotion. This won't happen for everyone, but if you're in communication, he may say something emotional to you, kind of just expressing something that he feels about you that may seem a little bit out of the blue. But I do just feel that he could be feeling, in general, more emotional lately as he is opening himself to allowing himself to feel these emotions that could have been repressed for a long time. I do want to know what emotions this divine masculine could have been repressing. What was this divine masculine repressing in the past? What was this divine masculine repressing that he's now feeling? Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. I heard blame directed inwards. There could be a masculine who is or has been in the past repressing some kind of guilt or self-blame for some kind of situation. This may or may not be related to love and romance. This could be related to other major life events. But I feel like there's a divine masculine here who was really holding on to these feelings of guilt or blame for something. Now, again, the way this connects with you will vary depending on person to person. So only take it if it does resonate, if it does connect with you. The Journey card in reverse came out here and I heard, I'm blaming myself for getting so lost, or like, how did I get so lost? How did I go so far? This could be applying for some who are in some kind of a separation that this masculine may be feeling like he caused or created. And he could be thinking to himself, I feel like this is my fault. I am blaming myself for this. I'm also hearing there could have been a masculine who actually, before being able to fully feel this self-blame and process out this guilt, he could have pointed fingers and tried blaming other people or situations or even the divine feminine, because he had this kind of triggering of this sacral chakra wound that we're going to speak more on later. But I do feel this masculine like accepting blame, not in the sense of like self-loathing or self-hatred, but accepting that he has been repressing this experience of feeling some kind of long-held sense of guilt or blame. If this isn't related to some kind of separation, romantically speaking, this actually could be some kind of self-blame that goes a lot deeper. This could be coming even from some kind of an inner child wound or experience, something that happened in his childhood or early in life, where he blames himself for something that happened to someone else or to his parents or within his family. Again, this will connect very differently for different people, but there's some kind of sense of some kind of guilt or blame having been repressed for a long time that is now being felt. And I feel along with that a kind of grief, a feeling like, how did I let myself get so far from who I am and who I want to be? I feel this longing for change, longing to be different. But I also feel that for this masculine, this whatever blame or guilt or whatever he's feeling has to be felt, brought to the surface in order to be processed out, in order to be released, in order to allow him to elevate to that version of himself that I feel he wants to be, that he longs to become and embody. Again, only take whatever connects with you from all of this, because I do feel I'm getting a lot of specific situations coming through here. Now, moving ahead to this walking away card reversed, I said I felt two kinds of different dynamics from this. I felt one person or one energy of someone who is learning to physically in the 3D stay within a romantic relationship. That's kind of what I keep hearing, which I know seems kind of vague, but I feel like someone spent a lot of time running from commitment or running from what they even wanted the most because they feared that they couldn't have it or couldn't keep it. And I feel someone else here who in a sense was running in their own way, but it looked very different on the surface. I heard self-abandonment. I feel like there's someone here who would run from themselves by over self-sacrificing and over self-abandoning within connection, not having boundaries. I also heard not being able to see myself clearly. So this could be going back to this masculine here, dealing with this guilt and blame. I'm hearing someone refuse to take a clear look at themselves for a long time because they didn't want to face this guilt or this blame or this feeling within them. They didn't want to face their true self in some sense, their own wounding. So they repressed it and repressed it. Until finally, I hear it's like this person saying, until finally I pushed you away like I did with everybody else. Again, I know there's a lot of intense messages coming through that will only connect with certain people here. Can I get more information about this walking away reversed? Broken heart in the reverse position. I am healing my broken heart. You are teaching me to heal my broken heart. And I heard the term broken heart more so as a kind of energy, a wounded heart chakra energy. Not just relating necessarily to love and romance, but connecting to any area of life that caused this person or this energy to create walls around their heart, around themselves. I keep hearing someone say, I didn't want you to break my heart, so I built these walls around myself, just like I did for everybody else. But then I ended up breaking my own heart in the process. And now I've realized that I have to face myself in the mirror. I have to clearly look at myself, wounding and all, and I have to heal these dynamics that caused this situation of almost like a self-created heartbreak here, because it's like this person, by putting these walls up, they thought they were protecting themselves. But because this person they were connecting with was the one that their soul truly wanted, who they truly longed to be with, it's like they were just self-sabotaging. They were just breaking their own heart in the process, trying to keep their heart from getting broken, if that makes sense. What else is this person feeling here with the broken heart card in reverse? Growth. So this situation is also growing, expanding, shifting. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. In fact, I feel that divinely, on a divine level, a higher self level, the reason this person I'm connecting with here was in this situation of breaking their own heart by putting walls up against the very thing that they wanted. This situation was actually soul intended. It was, as many things are within the twin flame connection, these moments of what we call triggering, when we are faced with our true self, our most authentic self, in all of its truth, all of its wounding, all of its beauty, all of its pain, just faced with the most raw version of ourselves through the vehicle of this twin flame connection. This can often cause a lot of in the moment pain, because we are shining this spotlight on a wound within ourselves that very often we've held on to for very long and usually served some kind of self-protective purpose. We don't build these walls for no reason. Usually we learn from an ego perspective that we need to have these walls, or we think we need to have these walls in order to survive. We feel that without them, we would be too vulnerable, too weak. And I feel like this person had those exact feelings. They felt that by having these walls around their heart, they were protecting themselves and presenting a strong exterior. But what was really going on is they were breaking their own heart, because they were preventing themselves from being able to access the very kind of love connection that they most desired to experience. So now, through this situation of pain, of self-heartbreak, essentially, this person is now experiencing this radical growth and expansion of consciousness in connection with that. Now, with the Angel of Balance card, the third card I pulled in this initial spread, what I'm hearing through all of this is that this situation is coming into full balance, is rebalancing, healing. But I heard 𝘎𝑗ℎ𝑚𝑒r reaction. As many of you know, 𝘎𝑗ℎ𝑚𝑒r reaction is when you are detoxing in something, from something, and your body temporarily reacts negatively. And I'm hearing that this could be happening for someone who's listening, or for their twin, where there is this really deep level detoxification happening spiritually. I've been channeling a lot about this in recent weeks. But as this detoxification continues, sometimes some of what we feel can temporarily be painful, or be negative, or be uncomfortable. But this is actually a sign of the healing. I heard sometimes things feel worse before they get better. And I feel like someone could be experiencing that in earnest at times, moments of feeling more confused than ever, feeling more in pain than ever, but then releasing that deep-seated pain, releasing that deep-seated fear that is perpetuating the cycle of pain. How is this situation coming into balance? How is this situation rebalancing here? Let's pull a few emotion cards for this. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. And health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. With the health card, I am hearing that collectively, there may be this shift in focus for some to some kind of physical transformation or healing in the 3D. So this could be someone who is trying to take better care of their body in some way, trying to make some kind of positive change related to their health or their physical lifestyle, like something very immediate in their physical space, whether it's their physical body. This could be like cleaning their house, cleaning something out. This is something very physically focused that I'm picking up on here. I just heard like cleaning house, but kind of metaphorically, like we are detoxifying those dark corners within ourselves, those cluttered closets of the soul, if you will, clearing them out, organizing them, airing them out. And I feel like this is happening on a deep level energetically. It's like these very deep-seated wounds are now being brought to light in a more powerful, intense way in order to be healed. And because of that energetic shift, some listening may actually be feeling inspired to take certain very physically oriented actions. Again, this could be like cleaning some part of the house or reorganizing something, or just reorganizing your life in some way, taking some kind of step forward in some kind of physical, very physically focused material endeavor. That won't apply for everyone, but I am feeling some will be picking up on that energy in that way. And once again, the card balance came out here. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. I'm going to reshuffle the cards here. What I keep hearing throughout this reading is rebalancing may at times look like things falling apart, or like pain in some way, because I am hearing that there can be this kind of confusion for some collectively. Again, I keep seeing that kind of image of this 𝘎𝑗ℎ𝑚𝑎 reaction, these temporarily potentially negative symptoms or sensations that are actually signaling that there is a very deep level healing, detoxification, a kind of soul decluttering that's taking place. So now I'm going to speak to both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine on a higher self level. So what is going on with the Divine Feminine at this time on a higher self level? Denial and freedom are the cards that came out. The denial card says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insights of awareness. And this is shifting into freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. With the denial card, I want to know, what was this fear being acknowledged for the Divine Feminine? I heard fear of being left, fear of losing you. This could specifically be a Divine Feminine that was afraid of. I also heard fear of not being enough. I feel like all of this is being released, brought to the surface. Any kinds of fears surrounding not being enough for the masculine, not being able to sustain this connection. I heard someone literally feeling almost like physically, it's like, am I physically enough? This is someone who is, or has in the past somehow been down on themselves, specifically in regards to some kind of physical appearance related thing that they may have not liked about themselves. And this lack of self-acceptance led to some kind of negative cycle where they were always trying to be enough, but it was in this kind of like chasing energy with the masculine. And through this process of trying so hard to be enough, to overcompensate, they lost connection with the inner truth, the soul's truth, that they already were enough, that they always have been enough. The card that came out here is Woman Holding a Heart in the reverse position. I'm actually going to read a little bit about this card just to get some messages from the guidebook. This card reversed could indicate a state of being emotionally overwhelmed. You may feel as though your love life is turned upside down. Always remember to bring loving, heartfelt energy to yourself. Don't take things personally, but endeavor to bring greater clarity and calm self-empowerment to the situation now. Yeah, so I'm getting the feeling that whatever this cycle of fear was, I heard in the past I denied myself of my own love, and then I expected to get love from others to replace it. That could be part of what this denial here is for someone. And the reason I continued this cycle is because I was, again, denying myself my own love, seeking to replace that lack of self-love with something from others externally, never feeling like enough within myself, because the love from others can never replace love within oneself, true self-love. And because of this, I feel something got out of balance, potentially within this twin flame connection, where this divine feminine had to learn to fully embrace and love herself, and in the process, release fears of not being chosen or not being enough for the divine masculine, realizing that she is effortlessly beautiful, magnetic, intensely attractive for everything that she desires, including love. It all flows to her naturally when she's open to it. But I feel that in the past she was closed, and this being closedness was coming from denying her own love to herself. Why was this divine feminine denying her own self-love? And of course, the second chakra in the reverse position. We spoke earlier on how this sacral chakra, this second chakra, was being shifted in a powerful way for the divine masculine. But it's really interesting this card is coming out now, because now I feel we're seeing how this dynamic is mirrored. Wow, I'm getting chills all over, because twin flames do always mirror one another's healing and wounding. Everything is perfectly reflected. So I'm seeing that this divine masculine may have had the more visible sacral chakra wound, meaning it was more obvious that he could have, as we said earlier, had some kind of a commitment issue, trouble trusting others, trouble fully opening himself emotionally within a romantic connection, feeling safe within those connections to open up. But of course, as twin flames, inevitably the divine feminine is mirroring this wound, or was mirroring this wound. And I feel that the way that she was mirroring it back was less visible, meaning it was more energetic, more emotional, more within the self. So it looked very different on the surface. I feel that for this divine feminine, with this card coming out here now, this sacral chakra wound for the feminine could have been this feeling of deep-seated lack of safety, lack of security within romantic connections, just as the masculine felt, but for a different reason. Because for her, I'm seeing this this, again, denial of her own self-love, not fully loving and accepting herself, seeing herself as fully worthy of these intimate, close, loving, supportive connections. And because of that lack of inner worthiness, there was always this sense of beneath the surface anxiety, or I heard relationship anxiety, or like anxious attachment style. These could connect with you in some way. But this was all coming again from this space of seeking something externally that she didn't have within herself, seeking that external love and validation from others to try to replace the total self-love and total self-acceptance that she hadn't yet given to herself. And so I feel that this wound, this sacral chakra wound, reflected back and forth and caused this dynamic where the divine feminine hadn't fully loved and accepted herself, and so was kind of getting into this mode of, we might label it as kind of a chasing sort of energy with the masculine, trying to get out of him the commitment, the external validation, the love through this kind of push energy. But then, of course, that was causing a flare-up of his own kind of trust issues, commitment issues, stemming from his own lack of safety, lack of feeling of security within romantic connections, with his own sacral chakra wound. And then this was kind of going back and forth because, of course, then he would pull away. So I see this kind of push-pull energy that has taken place in the past for someone here. But all of that is now shifting into freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I heard self-empowerment. I feel like through self-empowerment, meaning through shifting her positive attention upon herself, self-love, self-care, total self-acceptance, through that shift within the self, just as focusing too much on the external, trying to receive that external love and validation to fill that hole within, just as that sort of behavior was pushing away the masculine in the past, now doing the opposite, shifting the focus within the self, beginning with total self-love, total self-acceptance, focusing positively within, is now having the opposite effect in the physical. It is now magnetizing the divine masculine closer into her physical experience of reality, because of course they are always energetically connected, but through this shift of focus, the divine feminine is now able to sustain, to experience, to manifest these more 3D kinds of physical life experiences that we think of as more of a physical reunion with her masculine. You may notice at times, if you are a divine feminine listening, that because of this shift taking place, when you find yourself really positively focusing within, feeling like you are really loving yourself, accepting yourself, you then may find that naturally your twin, your divine masculine, may text you or call you, or however you communicate, may reach out more frequently. You may even run into each other more frequently, whatever the case is for you, but that physical connection will deepen. However, I feel that if this is happening, or as this is happening for you, something essential is not to begin then reattaching to those external circumstances, to those forms of communication, but always keeping your main focus within yourself, continuing that shift from, again, this denial of the love and acceptance for yourself, shifting all of that, continuing to allow that to shift into this total freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I am stable. I am happy within myself. I totally love, accept, and embrace myself. That kind of energy is what is becoming so magnetic for these physical, more manifested kinds of reunion experiences right now. So I'm going to see if there is any other card from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. Enter the Garden of Delights and Star Mother Arrakis both came out from the Rumi Oracle deck. I heard, because one of these cards has more of an earthy kind of image on it, the other has the image of a kind of galaxy, and in my mind I heard merging the earth with the stars, merging the physical with the 5D. So that might connect with you in some way, but I feel that collectively it speaks to this shift from 3D timelines, this kind of focus on the physical, the material, to this elevation of consciousness, this greater connectedness to the divine, both within and externally. So I'm going to go ahead and read a bit from the Star Mother Arrakis from the Rumi Oracle Guidebook. Be the king who has made his own kingdom. Be the moon that has made her own summit. How much longer will you cuckoo like a pigeon, empty your head of all mortal lusts and become life without breath? You will not call out for God anymore, for you have become immersed in God. Like a child who thinks not of the right steps, but just moves with the music and with joy, dance freely and from your own heart. I just keep hearing, release the struggle, release the pain, release the need to control, release the expectations and attachments and conditions. Return yourself back to the present moment. Breathe light and love into your being. No longer seek so desperately for this connection externally, but simply remember that this connection is and always has been within you. Return to that space within yourself where you are already connected with your twin, with this beautiful divine love, and allow yourself to experience it from there rather than seeking it externally. So I really hope that this message specifically was beneficial to some divine feminine listening. And to close out this reading before we get into the extended, which is linked in the pinned comment and description box, by the way, I am going to speak to the divine masculine from a higher self perspective. So what is going on with this divine masculine from a higher self level? Emotions are running high. This is really interesting because I pulled this card in a recent reading also. I can't remember if it was the YouTube initial reading or the extended. I want to know what emotions are running high. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. I feel like I'm speaking to a masculine here who may have used either humor as a coping mechanism. I heard dark humor. I heard that there could be a masculine who used humor to kind of cover painful experiences from his past or to pretend like they weren't affecting him. Alternatively, this could be a masculine who simply has been avoiding the experience of these very intense emotions through a fixation on the very surface level physical. I heard burnout, workaholic, or just very intensely focusing on something in the physical in order to avoid feeling what is going on within. And I feel like this masculine has been doing this for a long time, not just in regards to this twin flame connection, but in regards to even things that happened early in their life. It's like they use things around them physically as some kind of a distraction for the deeper level emotions they are feeling within that they aren't ready to face, to feel. But then the longer that they let these emotions fester within them, the more they build up and up. That's what this emotions are running high card. And I feel that through the experience of this twin flame relationship in the physical, as it has played out or unfolded, this masculine, that wall that was keeping back all of these emotions, was just broken open. And I feel that this is speaking again back to the sacral chakra. When I was talking about a masculine reconnecting with his emotional experience, I feel like this is what's happening here. It's like this masculine is now feeling and integrating this whole flood of emotions that he tried to repress and hold back for a long time through this focus again, either on the very physical aspects or through covering it or masking it in some way, through humor or through just dismissing his own emotional experience from the past, dismissing how these things could have been affecting him. But all of this is being resurfaced now again with this deep level detoxification, that Herxheimer kind of reaction I spoke on earlier. This could be a very emotionally intense kind of time for the masculine, and through his kind of conscious experience of these long-held unconscious emotions, regardless of whether he is communicating what he is experiencing emotionally intensely or not in the physical. And again, you may be feeling this on the other side of it as the divine feminine, because we do assist one another in processing these energetic shifts and transformations. What else is going on with this divine masculine on a higher self level? What is this masculine thinking or feeling? The first chakra, the root chakra, I heard, I want to go back to the beginning. I want to start over with you, divine feminine. I want to build a future with you, but I want to do it right. I want to do right by you. Because of my wounds through the sacral chakra, because of my fear of facing my own most deeply held emotional self, I struggled to emotionally connect with you. I put up walls around my heart toward you, just like I did for everyone else. And just like with everyone else in my life, or I shouldn't say everyone, but I feel that for many listening, there was a masculine who has pushed away a lot of people in his life. I'm not trying to be at all judgmental here or anything like that, but I do feel many masculines will connect with this feeling of pushing a lot of people away in their life. But I feel this masculine saying, I am now fully reconnecting with everything that I repressed for so long. I'm feeling it all so intensely. And I know, divine feminine, your 3D self at times feels these emotions coming from me. You help me to process them without realizing where they're coming from. But through this reconnection with self, we are building a new foundation together that is starting energetically. We must declutter, clear out, detoxify ourselves spiritually and emotionally, and on that deepest core level, the most deepest unconscious kind of level of ourselves, in order to create that sustainable energy bond with one another, from which we can experience this stable, manifested reunion state of being. With the thinking woman in the upright position and the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, I heard a masculine saying, I see you, divine feminine, building confidence in yourself, growing stronger spiritually and emotionally. I'm so proud of you and so inspired by you on this higher self level, watching us transform and shift together in this powerful way. Man holding a heart in the upright position. I'm going to read a little bit about this card from the guidebook. This tender man sits with flowers all around, holding a heart in his hand. For a man, this signals a greater clarity about emotions and their purpose in your life. That's the line that really stood out to me. Greater clarity about their purpose in your life. High intention, those words from the guidebook also stood out to me. More thoughtful, more aware. I hear this masculine saying, again, it's like, I want to start over with you. I want to do this right. I want to show up in a more thoughtful, conscious, aware way for you that I can only do from this state of greater healing within myself. And I'm going to pull a final card here before closing out this initial reading from the Rumi Oracle. So what is one final message from this Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine? Dance of the Divine Feminine. So I'm going to read a little bit from this card. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and moon stood still like the rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples, but you can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. Even mountains change. Surrender the stodgy ways of the mind and become willing to dance to the great orchestrations of love. You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see, is it moving? Of course. It is hurtling through the skies, spinning, tilted on its axis. It's amazing you aren't passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. Your life may feel as though it is being tipped upside down. I'm just skimming through the guidebook because these are very, very long messages from the Rumi Oracle, so I like to just channel specific lines that stand out to me. But I really feel that that's a good stopping place for that message. Really speaking to the powerful shifts and transformations happening energetically that at times in the physical can feel like a sort of disorientation, as the guidebook spoke on. However, overarching all of that, this shift from denial, repression of the self, denial of the self, into total freedom. Freedom to fully feel and express all of the repressed emotions, especially for the masculine, and through that feeling and expressing, a kind of releasing. A releasing of the walls that have held them back, that have caused them to potentially push the Divine Feminine away in the past. And of course, I'm speaking to the Divine Masculine side there, but this is always a reflected energy dynamic. This is happening on both sides here. I feel a final message to just close this out is a card that I pulled that is actually the Envy card, but what really stood out to me was the image of a woman standing in a darkened hallway, and through this hallway is this brilliant, beautiful light, this beautiful scenery. And I just heard shifting from darkness into light, beginning by shifting the darkness within the self into light. I know that many of the messages today have been a bit more, I would say, vague or overarching, just speaking more to this kind of general dynamic taking place. Because I do, and through this reading I did, want to speak more to this kind of energetic shift that I feel taking place, particularly this detoxification. But I do hope that throughout this reading, some message reached you that was helpful or meaningful in some way. I will also be channeling more specific messages from both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine side in the extended reading, which is linked in the pinned comment and description box under this video. I will also be leaving links in those spaces to some subliminals from my website, Sound and Soulful, that I would recommend to assist you today and this upcoming few days in shifting these energies and continuing to clear and ground and stabilize yourself within your connection energetically as well. So today, the two subliminals I will be leaving are the sacral chakra activation, of course, because the sacral chakra and these associated emotional blocks, intimacy blocks, came up a lot in this reading, as well as the twin flame surrender subliminal to assist you in fully releasing to surrendering to divine timing, both within your life and within this connection, allowing yourself to shift from that, what I call chaos consciousness, that entrenchment in the physical that keeps us at times so stuck within our connection, shifting from that to a fully aligned, surrendered kind of consciousness, shifting into connected, collective consciousness, a knowing that we are always unbreakably energetically connected to our twin beneath the surface, regardless of the physical circumstances. That is truly what surrender really is. So the links to the sacral chakra activation and the twin flame surrender subliminal, as well as the link to the extended messages, is in the pinned comment and description box. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to you again in Friday's reading.